Today, we will deep dive into the history of the Bitcoin and learn everything about it. How this crazy asset jumped from $1 to $100,000 in a decade. Was it easy? Was it quick? Were there any obstacles? We will learn everything about you can imagine. You will love this video. If you are ready, let's start now. Before the 2010s, around 2008 and 2009, Bitcoin made its first appearance on the markets. It was like a penny stock. Nobody knew about it. Actually, nobody even cared for it. It was designed as peer-to-peer cash system, a decentralized way of exchanging the cash. No governments involved. I can call it freedom of the money, freedom of humanity from all the corruptions. 2011, probably the first year that people started to notice the Bitcoin. It was its first time to reach $1 and rally up to $30. This was an insane moment, probably a bubble for a less known asset like Bitcoin. Because back in the time, nobody truly understood what Bitcoin was. Nobody was able to give it a true value or real-world use. And people are scared of what they do not understand. This year also there was a big hacking and around 25,000 Bitcoin was hacked. This raised the security issues. 2022 was a great year for the Bitcoin. It was a mostly stable year and it doubled its value this year. This year we start to see adoption of the payment systems of Bitcoin, such as from WordPress. So after 2022, we slowly started to understand the real-life use of the Bitcoin. Our major use case will be a payment system without any governments. However, the governments hated this idea already because it was a massive tax loss for them and not able to track the money and people and their spendings. They felt like they were losing the control and they started to act with regulations. 2013, I think this was the year Bitcoin got attention from the whole world. Price jumped from $10 to $1,000. Everybody was going crazy about Bitcoin. Everybody wanted some piece from it. Worldwide, everybody in the government started to take action against Bitcoin. Because again, they hated the idea of the Bitcoin. Do you watch series like Silo, Fallout, Last of Us? Whenever a group of people or government loses their control, they just go crazy. 2014 was the dark times. Bitcoin lost its 80% value in 1 year. This was the first year everybody talked about Bitcoin going to $0 and wiped out from the history and reality. And companies like Apple started to take action against Bitcoin by banning its use in the mobile apps. They actually had no choice but to abide by the dictation of the governments. Not just that, Bitcoin was always under attack of being hacked. Basically, whoever had the money and control hated the Bitcoin so much. And people like us, generally the poor people, love the Bitcoin more and more. 2015 was a more stable year. Bitcoin gained back some of its losses. People like us trusted the movement and the future use. And the government started to adapt more and more, making more clear regulations. They understand that they cannot avoid it. So they try to control it like everything else out there instead of fully banning Bitcoin. And more companies try to adapt the use of Bitcoin, implementing it in their payment systems. 2016 was another stable year. Bitcoin recovered all its losses. This gave the confidence back to investors. You need to understand Bitcoin was always under attack because some people in the world hated so much the idea of decentralized, a digital currency. The Bitcoin was like a punchbag. Everyone hated it and everyone was hitting it, but it survived nonetheless. 2017, Bitcoin shined like crazy, born back from the ashes, showed the world its value and the power. Price jumped from $1,000 to $20,000 in one single year. This was a madness and very rare. 2017 is also when the major big exchanges and the brokers accepted the Bitcoin, and the daily trading volume was crazy and increasing day by day. Some people still hated it. The more hated it, the more we loved it. 2018 was a black and dark year for the Bitcoin. It dropped around 80% and lost significant value. So, Bitcoin was like a crazy lover. One day you are the happiest person alive, and the next day you fight all day long. This was another year that most people come out and say Bitcoin will go $0 and never invest in it. Some people out there truly hated Bitcoin and what it stands for. What was it? A digital currency, decentralized, out of government controls. This was the basic idea of the Bitcoin. 2019 was mostly a stable year for the Bitcoin. We started to see more and more digital currency plans and projects like Libra, and the mobile wallets to keep the Bitcoin or use for payment services. And the blockchain technologies started to be adapted worldwide because the idea of blockchain was actually one of the safest and trackable systems in the world, clean and effortless, powered by the people itself. I think 2020 was the first year the whole world, even the haters, started to accept Bitcoin. Everyone in the world understood that there is no escaping from Bitcoin. Bitcoin reached a crazy price level of $40,000. Bitcoin was screaming, I am here and I will stay here. And it attracted a lot of institutional investments. Basically, companies like MicroStrategy started to store Bitcoin. They see the value in Bitcoin, and oh boy, they were not wrong at all. Yes, there was no escape from the Bitcoin. 2021 was another record-breaking year. Bitcoin pushed $70,000 for the first time in its history. By the time El Salvador accepted the Bitcoin as an official payment method, and the ETFs, the official funds, started to adopt Bitcoin as well, it was very obvious Bitcoin was being adapted in the entire world one way or another. And that year, Tesla tried Bitcoin as one of their payment methods. There are millions of Tesla lovers out there. This gave Bitcoin a significant boost and trust. 2022 was a really hard year for all the markets. Stock markets, S&P 500, Nasdaq were crushing like crazy. Bitcoin had its fair share. After COVID-19, with zero interest rate period, the entire world went into a gigantic bubble, and it was natural that the worldwide bubble was going to pop someday. Plus, the FTX scandal made the situation worse for the Bitcoin. This scandal was not about Bitcoin at all. It was about a couple of greedy people who use crypto markets for their demonic purposes. 2023 was the rehabilitation and the recovery year for the Bitcoin. It gained back most of its losses, and the trust was back. We had more and more official ETFs, so anyone in the world could get some digital currencies with official channels, regulated channels like official stockbrokers. Bitcoin showed the world it does not matter how hard to punch it, it was going to stand up. It was not going to be beaten or lose. Finally, in 2024, we almost hit the $100,000 mark. A crazy journey from $1 to $100,000, as you can see. We are having record-breaking transactions and daily trading volumes nowadays. Love it or hate it, Bitcoin is accepted now. People love Bitcoin, actually, not the Bitcoin, the idea behind it. I love and invest in Bitcoin. Will it stay forever? Who knows? I don't know the future, I have no idea. But I will keep investing and try to make money out of it as long as it lasts as a skeptical and objective trader and investor. Okay, folks, take care and see you next time.